Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Black Solutions. I'm your host, Calvin Padgett. It's great to be back. I've been gone for 4 months, but I'm back, and I'm here to stay. What I would like to say is Black Solutions has 45 powerful episodes that can be seen on Google, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, and Listen Notes. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share the content. Tonight, I have two brothers that I have tremendous amount of respect for. First off, I would like to introduce my brother, Hosea Lewis, who I first met 40 years ago at Los Angeles High School. He's currently assistant basketball coach at Long Beach City College. And the brother in the middle is Mr. Dwayne Frosty MAc Franklin, who is also assistant basketball coach at Crenshaw High School and is a well-known city advocate. What's up, fellas?
Hey. What's up, Calvin?
All right. Yeah. Man, I'm glad y'all came out here on a Sunday night, man. I know y'all had other things to do. It's been a while since I've seen you, Frosty.
Right.
My brother, Hosea, was involved in a car speed chase, and he got hit and run, crazy people driving.
Yes.
3-4 days. Was that 3-4 days ago?
Yeah, it was like 3 days ago. 3 days ago.
So by you even having the fortitude to come down here, I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Frosty, a couple of years ago, you went through the same thing.
The day before my birthday, June 10th. Just found out the other day I ain't gonna get a dime.
What?
Really?
Police have exemption on those type of things.
Wow, same thing, right?
Yep.
Police chase.
Yep, ran right into me. Pushed me a city block into a church on 48th and Western. And I just recently found out I'm not going to get a dime.
You know that's crazy. If y'all out there driving, slow down. Slow down. Y'all going to kill somebody. Where the hell you going? Slow down. You running into people and the police. Y'all got to figure out a better way than chasing people all over town. They could have killed both of my brothers. Anyway, guys, I'm glad to have both of you guys here. We got two powerful topics tonight, gentlemen. Powerful. Topic number one is the Bill 3121. If you guys haven't heard of this, this is the California Reparations Bill for black people in California. Topic number two is about my man, Deion Prime Time Sanders, who is the head football coach at Jackson State. So we're going to start with Deion Sanders. So, folks, Deion Sanders, Prime Time Sanders, is a Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion, the only player in history to play in a Super Bowl and World Series. He's the greatest defensive cornerback that ever played in the NFL, according to many, many experts, including yours truly. He spent 15 years as an NFL analyst, and he's now the head coach, as I mentioned, Jackson State University. What I like about this story is a family story. He has his family there. His son, Shedeur Sanders, is an outstanding quarterback, and he's also a Heisman Trophy candidate. His son, Shiloh Sanders, is a safety on the team. He's another outstanding player. And his daughter, Shalomi Sanders, is the point guard for the women's Jackson State team. Deion Sanders Jr. is the social media rep, so he's the one that brings all the videos and everything. So it's a total family thing. You guys got any comments about what Coach Sanders is doing in Jackson State and how he's transformed the whole landscape of HBC, the HBC perspective? Frosty, let's start with you.
Well, I like the way how he's trying to get the HBCU on a bigger platform, a bigger stage, which they should have been on a bigger stage a long time ago. And I understand exactly what he's doing, and I understand how a lot of things that came about since he's done that, as far as these NIL deals, if you ask me.
Right. Exactly. And if you guys don't know what NIL deals is, that means you get paid for your name, image, likeness. This has stopped so many athletes, predominantly black people, from you buy them a hamburger, they're ineligible. Now you can actually go out and get the endorsement deals, which I think is great. I think that would have stopped all. That would have made us all go pro. Would y'all agree? It would have changed our lives significantly if we could have went out and, got money for our name, image, likeness. Dang, that's a tongue twister. I'm going to refer to my good friend, Mr. Lewis, Coach Lewis. Hosea has been around. He's coached in several HBCUs. Zay, what's your view on this?
As it relates to Deion, it's definitely a positive because Deion is from Florida, from Florida State. He's prime time. He brought a whole flair to the game in college football and after college. A whole flair. He made history. But when he brought that flair to the HBCU, he definitely added some power to it. Here's a man that has this aura by him to make people great, and that's what he's doing. He's putting a whole historically black college and university on his back,
right.
which is a great thing because there's been other men out there, great men doing great work for HBCUs, but just never had a chance to bring it to light like Deion has right now.
I totally agree. Now, Zay, you coached at Tennessee State University. Mm-hmm. How was that experience for you, number one? And number two, you can actually speak to the reality of what he's going through as far as facilities and all those sort of things. You have a comment on that?
Yeah, I say facilities for last. Now, as it relates to HBCU, being from California, we're all from California. All three of us is from LA, so born and raised. Now, being out there for around 15 years, from 2000 to 2015, being down there for 15 years, I consider that my home away from home. Mm-hmm. It's definitely different. It's definitely have its own like take on things. It's down south. Right. And they've been doing things their way since 1776.
You mean racism-wise?
Racism-wise.
Inequality?
Inequality-wise, still on that struggle.
Right.
Because not owning anything, not owning any land and things like that over all those decades. I mean, we're getting a little better now out there. Right. But it's so entrenched. Really about making it, especially with the different school districts out there. And I just had to shed this light too, because we're from California. It's a lot of small towns out there, small right. towns. So a lot of those kids struggle in the classroom. Although they might be getting B's and A's, it's not the same as if we were getting right, B's right. and A's here in California, mm-hmm. because it's only a town of 500,000 people, So, and it's okay. So I say that to say this. Thank God for HBCUs because it allowed those great men and women that's growing up and that would be productive in their community as police officers, as administrators and things like that. Thank God for black colleges. And I said that when I first saw that in 2000. And, you know, a lot of kids really were struggling with reading and writing and things like that. And I just thank God schools like that gave them an opportunity to succeed. That's how I saw it from my perspective.
Okay, I got you. And I appreciate that because that's some insight that the audience need to know because he's actually lived it and done it. So I want to run through a laundry list of things that Coach Prime has brought to Jackson State and the state of Mississippi. He spent his own money, guys, for team uniforms, number one. He spent his own money for locker rooms, 2 football fields. He's created over $30 million from 2020 to current for the Jackson, Mississippi economy, which doubled. Recently, he had the college ESPN game day that one day generated $3 million for Jackson, Mississippi. He also did a 60-minute interview. He also did an AM America interview, all in 1 week. Black people love Deion Sanders in Mississippi as well as all the HBCUs. Yes. So, guys, real quick, and I want to switch to something else. Great athletes, they got money. Cachet. Popularity. If they can do what Mr. Sanders has done, one person can impact the whole climate of a situation. He's impacted not only the city of Jackson, but the whole state of Mississippi. They talk about building a brand new arena, but it's alleged they're going to try to do it because of Deion Sanders. One other thing I'd like to add, he's also inspired NFL players and coaches. Eddie George, coach at Tennessee State, where my good friend Hosea used to coach at. Basketball at. Hugh Jackson used to coach for the Raiders. He's coaching at Grambling State. Tyrone Wheatley is coaching at Morgan State, the great All-American running back from Michigan.
Yes.
Mississippi is one of the poorest states in the United States. So this guy's old school, Frosty. He's like me. He's like you.
Yes.
Jose. So LaRon, my man, LaRon, can we hit that video about Coach Prime talking to the team about dress codes? Listen to this, folks.
School, we got school. We start school today, right? Okay, I want you to listen to me clearly and succinctly. No slides. No slides. No slides. No armpits exposed. No wife beaters. Sit in the front of the classroom and be the perfect gentleman, because when it comes down to it and you need help from that professor, they're going to recall your character and who you've been consistently in that class. No slides, no sleeveless shirts, no armpits exposed, none of that. And make sure you shower before you go to class. If you do not, I don't want to get a report that you was in some bull junk with our apparel on representing us. Kids sitting in the back of the class making noise. He was freestyling back to the whole class while I was trying to teach it with Jackson State football shirt on. It's not going to happen. When it get back to me, it's going to get back to your coaches first, but then when it get back to me, it's going to be a problem.
Now, guys, listening to that, that's old school. Isn't that how we were raised as far as the coaches and stuff? And what you guys have done and what I've done? Basic things telling kids about dress codes. Now, Frosty, I want you to take a minute, and Jose, I want you to take a minute to address what he just said.
Well, you have to represent your institution, you know, so on a high level, so they can stay on a high level, you know. And I'm 100% with that, you know what I'm saying, because your character is big, you know what I'm saying. You represent not only your school, you're representing the community that you came from, you're representing your family, and you're representing your friends. Yeah, I'm 100% with that.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that as well. I mean, I ditto everything that he just said because that's me talking with my players here in California, and even when I was at the HBC, historically black college level, speaking at, because people are watching you all the time.
Right.
All the time. In the classroom, out of the classroom, in the where you eat lunch and dinner,
Right.
in the cafeteria.
Off campus,
So the whole campus is watching you. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why I'm well respected amongst the HBCU level, because I really you always hear, man, Coach Lewis' team, they well behaved, they this and they that. Yeah, because I have expectations, and that's where Coach Prime is coming from, expectations. So those kids don't know until you tell them, to be fair to them too. So if you don't tell them, they don't know.
Right.
Okay, because you got to remember, they coming from small towns, they coming from, single parent homes, or they just coming from their grandmother. You gotta remember, they don't know.
Right.
Okay, so you shape them into leaders, and that's what Deion is doing.
Absolutely. Very well said. Okay, so guys, we're going to do one more clip. He also talks about the challenges of being an African American, a black person in college. And just black men, young and old, some of the challenges that they deal with anyway. So, LeBron, can we hit that other clip?
I'm just sick and tired of the consistency of people that are influential to you are leaving us consistently. That's our rappers. Takeoff was murdered in a dice game in Houston, where we're going. So that eliminates all y'all leaving that hotel, because it ain't happening until I give you further notice. So whatever her name is, whoever she is, parents, everybody, they're going to come to the hotel to visit you because y'all ain't leaving. Sooner or later, we got to start changing our addresses, guys. That's an analogy to saying, I know we this, but we ain't that. We got to leave that behind that we once did. And that's what you guys are. Now you guys are Jackson State royalty. You ain't no, man. You're not whoever you were a year ago. You're not even who you're going to be a year from now, which is a blessing. But you can't continuously do the things you've always done and expect to get the results. It's going to have to be a change. All of us have gone through drastic changes. Have we, coaches? Have we, coaches? All of us are still evolving into what God has called us to be, and that's change. You cannot kick it with the same dudes you kicked it with. You cannot kick it with the multitude of women that you kick it with. You cannot associate in the same realms that you associate with. You're going to have to change if you expect change. You can't do it. It's going to come to a time, they can talk about you, they can mock you, they can ridicule you, they can cuss you out, they can clown you, whatever they want. But you're going to have to separate sooner or later. You're going to have to disconnect. Sooner or later, you're going to have to. So get that in your spirit. I'm sad because it just seems like it's always us. But we want to say we matter. We want to say we keep it in 100, but it's always us. Now we lose another soldier to some bull junk that when we look back at it, the gentleman going to say, dang, now his whole life changes. Because now he's incarcerated or murdered in a consequence of what transpired. Because you know how the game is played. And I don't want y'all playing that foolish game, because y'all are valuable to your families, friends, loved ones, and you're valuable to us. All right, let's think about that. Let's pray for the families. Ain't got no time. Ain't got no time to do foolishness. Let's go get it.
I got to clap for my man Prime. Well said. Keeping it real. This is what young people need to hear, especially young black men. I mean, it was no sugarcoating, no coddling. They need to hear it just like that. So if you guys are parents, that's where you need to talk to your children. Direct and straight, just like that. So you guys, we're going to move on from the outstanding coach, Deion Prime Time Sanders, and talk about the most important thing, in my opinion, in the history of the United States as far as black people. We're going to talk about reparations. Actually, reparations is really about to do something. Gentlemen, I said this to you guys a couple of months ago. There's a bill in California called Bill AB 3121. If you guys think I'm BSing, check it out for yourself. This bill is for black people in California that can prove they are descendants of slaves. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you guys a little history lesson, then we're going to jump right into it, and I want to hear what the guys got to say. It's estimated that over 4 million black people was in slavery in America from the year 1619 to the year 1865. Some argue it was even earlier than that in the 1500s. But we're going to go with what they got on record. Not us, but what the people at the time have on record. Slave ship took Frosty, Hosea, 80 days to come from the continent of Africa to the east coast of the United States. Now, show you guys how far is that. Ron, I don't know if you can zoom in on this. This is the African continent right here. The slaves are somewhere in this area at the top here. On wooden ships, they had to sail halfway across the world. Halfway. Oh, you got it now? Okay. So they had to sail halfway across the world, all the way over up here to the United States. So basically, they're sailing from here all the way up here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm trying to give you guys a visual of what that is. 2.5 months. Confined like this. Can't move. Like where, I don't know if y'all can see where Frosty's at, but we like this. We can't move. He's laying this way. I'm laying this way. Jose laying that way. We can't move. We're using the bathroom on ourselves. 2.5 months. Can't move. Women, everything. This goes to people that don't think we're supposed to get reparations. Now, proposed Reconstruction laws guarantee former slaves 40 acres and a mule. We've all heard that. Mm-hmm. You have to be on another planet. You ain't never heard that before. After President Lincoln was killed, the government reneged on that promise. Now, Governor Gavin Newsom, a white man, by the way, put together a 9-person task force to study black history in America to propose reparations for black California residents. This task force came up with a very detailed 545-page study that covers the following. I read that whole thing, y'all. I'm going to run through this really quick. I want to hear what the guys got to say. This is what this study covers. The horrors of slavery, rape, killings and lynchings, police department, racist laws, stealing of wealth, land, and money, unfair justice systems, unfair housing, job discrimination, unfair wealth gap between whites and blacks, incarcerations, racism in sports, movies, and the arts, negativity and imagery on television, education, healthcare, mental health, lack of resources, so on and so forth. I could have kept going, but I was running out of paper. And it's only an hour show. So, Now, let's get to the meat of this. There are two strong arguments. Who is eligible? Who's eligible for it? One group, lineage-based, that can prove that their descendants were indeed a slave. The other argument is race-based. So basically, the race-based argument is that any black person in the United States, regardless of your origin, is supposed to get reparations. Now, this panel said the lineage-based is easier to prove. So the lineage-based won out of a 5-4 vote over the race-based that says everybody's supposed to get paid. And like I said again, the lineage-based is supposed to be people that's a direct link to slavery. Okay, prove that they have a slave descendant. Now, the task force was comprised of 9 people, 8 blacks, 1 Asian. Chairperson Camelia Moore from Leimert Park voted yes on this. State Senator Stephen Brown voted yes. Vice Chair Dr. Amos C. Brown voted yes. Dr. Javon Lewis voted yes. Javon Scott Lewis, excuse me. Council Member Monica Montgomery Stepp voted yes. The people that voted no. Dr. Cheryl Grills voted no. Assembly Member Reginald Jones Sawyer voted no. Lisa Holder voted no. Donald Tamaki, the only Asian on the panel, voted no. Okay? This proposal goes on Governor Newsom's desk July 1st, 2023. Okay? So now, I'm going to go back to the panel. I'm just an average black man. Why you guys haven't heard this on channel 2, 4, 5, 7, PBS, CNN, Fox News? Why you guys haven't heard about it? And it's going to happen. Why you guys think that's so? Frosty?
Well, you know, a lot of people ain't going to too much Google anything. So if you want this money, you're going to have to Google it. So that cuts about 50% of the people out from getting the money right there. You know what I'm saying?
Zay?
Well, for one, Governor Newsom is doing an excellent job. I always had high hopes for that man. But as it relates to the reparations, the reason they don't put it on the news or CNN, because that's not their priority. Their priority isn't to enlighten too much of color, period. Not just blacks, but any background. So we're not going to hear it on CNN, and they've proven that. It's just all about them and their political moves. You know, from Donald Trump to all of them. Because Mr. Duke over in North Carolina, he gets more airplay about the KKK than the blacks. Okay, so their agenda is different from us. Right. And look, and since you talk about the reparations is great, Calvin. That's great. You know, some money is better than no money. But this is what we was trying to let other people understand us in 2020 through the George Floyd, that we've been hurting for decades. Okay, yep. We've been hurting for decades. And this is not, if they want to understand us, throwing money at us isn't to understand us, okay? Because we're so hurt, and our parents were hurt, and their parents were hurt over all those years. My parents' family go all the way back to Holly Springs, Mississippi, and we go there on family reunions to this day. That's cotton, and it's poor, and it's ran down. Russ College is there, another HBCU, but it's not LA, it's not the glitz and glamour. You just have all these aches. You know, I'll never forget when I was in Tennessee, I knew a black guy that went to Ole Miss. I said, "Oh man, you went to Ole Miss." He was a football player. And I know black people didn't go to Ole Miss.
Right.
Back, you know, from, let's say, 1865 on to the 80s and the 90s. Black people just didn't go there unless you were a football player. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they show on TV now that blacks didn't infiltrate football until the 70s, okay, in the SEC. So, and we really didn't go to college until like the 80s. So they just didn't, they're not going to talk about us in that kind of way. They try to just that's a way to just keep us irrelevant, not putting us in the mainstream news like that. That's how I see it, and that's how I know it to be. Okay, so I hope that I answered your question.
Absolutely. I mean, you nailed
because it hits. I know it hits home with all of us. You know, although we came up born and raised in California, but where is our family from? If my mom and dad my mom and dad is not from California. Okay, so their families is from Georgia. My family is definitely on my father's side, definitely slaves. We researched it all the way back to Georgia, Covington, Georgia, and I can go deep on you. In Covington, Georgia, that was the main railroad they used to get to Louisiana to push the cotton trade and all that. Right. Okay, so and it's a cotton town too, and that was the main thoroughfare. And they came from the end of Georgia. Oh man, I forget the name of that city. Savannah. Through Savannah down to Covington, Georgia, and then that's where a lot of the people that was enslaved were at. Okay, not Atlanta, but in those outskirt towns, because Atlanta is a city. But you talking about where all the cotton and stuff was coming through. Yeah, it was that. And then you talk about Mississippi, Itabena, Mississippi. I never forget that. I went there in 1997, cotton everywhere. But that's when I realized they didn't use the pickers anymore. They use machines now. So I got to see that. So, but the cotton still runs that down south.
Well, I want to say this, though.
Yes, go ahead.
One thing I want to say about how they didn't let everybody know about the reparations. Just think back to that journey you just came across from Africa through the dark prices to the plantations they ended up on. When they were free, a lot of slaves didn't even know it was free. In some places.
Yeah.
They were still getting beat, raped, and killed as a free people.
That's right.
For over 100 years.
Yeah.
Over 100 years.
It's just a
Jim
system.
Crow laws.
It's just a system they got.
Came
What's
in.
what they call it? It's still systematic, man.
Systematic.
Right.
And I can go here
guys,
real quick. That especially in Alabama, if you know how we have the homeless now, we see the homeless everywhere. Well, you know what they used to do when they were homeless back there? They'd pick them up and put them in jail to do what? Build the railroads and stuff. So
Chain gang.
Chain gang.
Right.
They wasn't doing anything wrong.
Right. Well, guys, let me jump in here really quick because I want to get to these proposals and stuff. I want to thank you guys for your point. Estimated payout is anywhere between $150,000 to $350,000 per person. Now, that's a wide range there. They have to figure that part out. I know people that's actually gone to these hearings. I plan on going to one. It's one in Hosea. If you guys are not, well, I know you'll be in the middle of your season, but that's in January in Sacramento. So I'm going to go to that and put in my 2 cents. So that's the way they're looking to pay this out. A precursor to that, you guys are familiar with what happened with Bruce Beach. They gave the beach back to the people in Manhattan Beach, the Bruce family. So that kind of what started this ball rolling here. So what I want to ask you guys now, and we run out of time. I want you guys to go through this really quickly. Do you know who your descendant from slavery is? Now I'll go first. I'm really lucky. My grandmother's grandmother, name is Katie Coleman. She was 12 years old in 1865. She was a slave. So that's my grandmother's grandmother. That's how close it is to me. What about you, Frosty? Do you know who your descendant was a slave? And before you start, Frosty, my dad's side I don't know. I just know my grandfather's name was John Padgett Sr. He's from Georgia. That's all I know. No records, no nothing. That's a tragedy in its own right. So, Frosty, go ahead. I'm going to just defer to you.
My grandmother's mother, she is from McCamey, Arkansas. And I remember when I was 10 years old, I went out to see her. Outhouses, looked like 70, 80 acres of land, rural, timber, ticks. And I remember one day she told me to go down there with my cousin and bring the cow back from the neighbor's pasture. That was a 12-mile walk to the next pasture. So when I found out is where we were, those were the plantations. They ended up with some of the master's property. Yeah. The master broke them off. You know what I'm saying? So I know my direct descendant of it, and that's one thing she told me when I was down there. Get you some land. Your land is going to be your freedom. Land is going to be your road to generational wealth. And when you just shot them numbers at me, 150,000 to 350,000, okay, nobody today can take that money and buy no land. Yeah. Had they gave it to our mothers and our grandmothers, they could have bought a gang of land.
Yeah.
What about you, Zay?
Oh, my God. He hit it. I can't say no more because.
Do you know your descendant?
Oh, do I know? Oh, do I?
You didn't know the name or whatever? You know.
I know the name. I can go all the way. I can't run it off to you right now because if you had asked me, I would have brought it and I could have did the whole list.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is, Zay, do you know? Yeah. Is it your grandmother's grandmother? Grandmother's grandmother?
I know my grandmother all the way to Covington, Georgia. I even know how they got here. They walked all the way to Louisiana from Covington, Georgia.
Now, what year? What time frame?
The time frame was around 1880.
So this was after the Civil War.
Yeah, this was after the Civil War because we were still. This was after the Civil War. Right. At this point in time, everybody when that happened, they were walking all the way down to wherever they had to go. Everybody was walking.
Okay.
So that's why, that's why some of those people ended up in small towns and staying along the way. And you got to remember, some of them people changed their names too, because they might have been a Lewis and all of a sudden they changed, because you could just change your name on a whim.
Well, Zay, let me cut you off real quick. I want to, LeRon, I want you, just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Do you know who your slave descendant is? Yes, no? You don't know? Okay. So Zay, you say you don't know or you do know?
I know.
You know.
I know.
So you know.
I know both sides.
So I guess the reason why, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, because I'm trying to get, in order to get this, you just can't say you know. You have to know, the name.
I know.
And where they live.
I know.
And approximate
and
age.
where they live.
It's very, very detailed. So that's why I want to get to the audience, is that this is how they're going to come at you guys. So it's like, in other words, I can sit here and say, well, I know my folks was here, were there, but who was your folks? I just said mine was Katie Coleman. Right. So you're going to have to come with that. You guys, they ain't going to listen to a story. You got to come with the name and whatever. So that's just the point I want to get
Well, let me
to
say
America.
this to you. As far as me, the application is filled out. Now show me the money. Yeah. I know I can fill every blank in.
Right.
Show me the money.
But that's the game. That's the game they playing.
But
you have to know that, though.
But okay, most of us gonna find out, because it's out there for all of us. Okay, everybody. When I found out, my family was really when I found out that we was really slaves. Oh, I was like bummed for months. Okay, I knew it, but when you find out, it's like, oh snap. Dang.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, when you find out. And I went to Covenant, Georgia. I found out. I know the addresses and all that stuff, but let's talk about, because we all ain't a black, he just don't know right now. The engineer just don't know right. But we all connected from that ship. We're all connected now.
But here's the thing, Jose. Let me interrupt you really quick. 65% of black Americans don't know that.
Well, they need to know.
I want to address that, because people don't know. You guys know. Most people don't know. So we need to talk to the people that don't know.
Well, because look, I'm like this. I just told you, when I found out, it's like, oh my God. Those probably, they don't want to really know. Because
for this check, I think you
should
should.
It does something to you.
But this is as far as this payment. That's
I just want to.
You got to kind of get.
We can. Get
I ain't gonna say get over it, but you can't get over it. But in order, this is very specific. This ain't whatever.
But now, the money, the money, 300. It needs to be 300 or more, because 100. To try to do a range on it, I think is unfair, because when we went to the pandemic, everybody in the country got some type of money. And if you just gave everybody $300,000 right then, everybody, which is about 60 million people in the country, that like 60 or 70 billion dollars would have took care of that. Everybody could have had $300,000. So now you telling me you're gonna give me a reparations maybe between 150 to 300?
But Jose, what other state in the country trying to even do that?
That's where we look.
So you got to take it for what it is. Though.
Yeah, take it for what it is, that they ain't really trying to give us it. Now this man is going against the grain. Newsom is going against the grain.
Exactly.
So all he's doing is exposing what we already know. We keeping it real here, Calvin.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, he's doing a good thing. Let's hope that no one snaps on him, okay, like they have done in the past to others that's trying to do great things for other people.
What I can say, in my mind, with this reparation money, okay, if we all are ancestors of slaves who get this money, okay, that makes us the only reason our ancestors ever existed. Now they done gave us a jug. Now, we form a union, a reparations of slaves union.
That's beautiful.
A whole bunch of money goes into the union.
Right.
Now we ain't gonna have no Black Wall Street. We're gonna build a Black America.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the ones that's homeless out there and living in tents and all that, don't even worry about nothing. You ain't got to move. The slaves is finna come get. Your ancestors got you. We coming together. We finna
Yes,
build it
I
all
like
together.
that. I
The
like
money builds the black.
Boy,
black
Frosty,
America.
you on fire. That's the perfect segue, guys, into my next point. Now, Zay, let's make like we get the money. I get my check. Frosty, you get your check. Zay, you get your check. Now what we gonna do? Are we gonna go out and buy name brand clothes, black people? Are we gonna go buy fancy cars and jewelry? Well, I'm gonna buy me a fancy car. I ain't gonna lie about that. I don't need jewelry. Are we gonna buy more drugs? Are we gonna drink more? Are we gonna race to spend $1 and give it money back? What are we gonna do? Are we gonna keep up the foolishness of killing and robbing and stealing and raping? So, do you guys think this money will change the attitudes? Or do you think if you're an idiot, broke, you'll be an idiot with more money?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this here.
Y'all can take your time.
They playing
on this.
chess. They playing chess with this whole money thing. Even when they stuck the crack into Los Angeles, they did that just because they know these parents got to hand their property to their kids. But if they're drug addicts, they're gonna lose them houses like that. Boom, boom. So the drug addict, who is a direct ancestor to a slave, and he gets this money going right to the drug house. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just like they lost that property, they're going to lose that money. And you know what I'm saying? It's systemic racism, like you said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're giving you money, but we ain't equipped to have the money. 80% of people ain't equipped to have no money, you know what I'm saying? Man, look at the homeless
been
thing.
taught.
They're out there right now. I go around my community, the streets is all Hispanic, but the people I grew up with that was on drugs, they sleeping all around the corners and over here. They staying close to what they were familiar with. They've been homeless in their neighborhoods where they grew up. And that's a bunch of them.
Zay, let's get your quick point because we got about 10 more minutes. So, could you give me a quick point of what you think about that? What are we gonna do with the money if we get it?
What we gonna
I know
do?
what we gonna do. We gonna do what Frosty said. But what the average Joe or Joanne black person gonna do?
Well, maybe they
Just
should
your
have-
opinion, whatever your
My opinion is financial literacy. I mean, I don't know how you can really stop someone from spending their money, but hopefully there's some type of financial literacy along the way. I know I would probably want to join with my other family members that would probably get the money,
Right.
and hopefully we can all come as one and do it right this time and buy some property because it's pretty expensive now. So if you have like 4 people in your family, that's still only going to be like $1 million, and we just from one house is $1 million in Los Angeles right now. So you really got to be careful for this money that you're going to get.
It's only gonna come once.
Right.
Yeah.
You need to take the money and build for your legacy behind you.
Right.
We're the ones who finna get it. We already too old to enjoy it, man.
Yep.
A lot of us gonna say, "Well, I'm finna go and have some heaven on earth with this money right now."
Right.
But really, you need to get this money for your kids and your grandkids.
Yes.
Build their future. Take this money, build their future, so they ain't got to go through none of the stuff we going through.
Yep. Well, guys, that's very powerful stuff, what you guys just said. But the advice I would like to give people is that people live at life speed. And we try to speed life up if you're young. You remember, you guys, how we was younger, people want to be older, and older people want to be younger. Live life at life speed. Wherever speed in life is, live that. Don't do all this extra stuff. Just live at life speed and take it for what it is. Because for me personally, I'm not going to run that money because it's not my money. That money belongs to my parents, John and Barbara Padgett, my grandmother, Katie Jarrett, my grandmother's twin sister, Annie Needham, my great-grandmother, Annie Barron, and my great-great-grandmother, Katie Coleman. So I have a responsibility to do something what just Frosty just mentioned, to buy some property or get a business or something substantial and honor my ancestors, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be getting a dime. We still might. California got the money to do it, guys. We got one of our port, the number 3 port. California port is number 3 in the world. So we got the money from import, export, oil. They got the money. Gavin and Newsom know they got the money to do this. What you gonna do when you get it? That's the question. Right. What we gonna do? We know what we gonna do. We older. But the young people, this gives you a chance. college. Go to college.
Yeah, that probably makes more sense. Going to college would be more cheaper than going to buy a studio right off the bat, and then just
Rap, mixtape and all that kind of stuff.
and not really running the business right. So yeah, it's cheaper to probably go to college at that point,
Right.
to learn more.
Well, fellas, we're getting at the end here. I want to give you guys a chance to give a closing comment. First of all, I want to thank you, brothers, for coming to the show. What you said this evening was very impactful. I hear a lot from a lot of my shows. Hosea, the show you did. Frosty's basically my co-host. Frosty has done several shows. Oh, yeah, thanks. LaRon, put all the guys' Cash App up there. Y'all donate some money to us. The AirCal Solutions, that's me. I couldn't get Black Solutions. Somebody got it already. But let's put the Cash App up, LaRon, for that's Frosty MAc. Can y'all see that? Frosty, give me your Cash App.
Yes, that's $ Mac Frost. My name Dwayne Franklin, but that's $ Mac Frost. When you put my phone number in, or put that name in, my phone number pops up, and that's what pops up. When I put my phone number in Cash App, that's what pops up, and that's what I'm telling you that pops up.
All right. Let's say, give me your Cash App.
$ is it's actually Hosea, Hosei, Hosea. Well, HOS.
Man, you said that's what you said to me.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
At 15.
I asked just to give you. Oh, you ain't trying to get no money, huh?
Yeah. Hosei, Hosea.
Hosea instead of Hosea.
Yeah, it's Hosea.
Okay, so did y'all get that? Just say it one more time.
Hosie, Hosea, 1515.
Yeah, y'all give to these brothers up here, man. We trying to do something for y'all. I never really asked for money before, but my audience, like, hey, you need to get a Cash App. You need to get a Cash App. So I'm getting a Cash App. Y'all give $1. Start off with $1, $2, $5.
Right. That's it right there.
Oh man, LaRon, we should have put your Cash App up there. But everybody watching this show, give each one of us $1. We up here starving. We look good, but we starving. Hey, what park bench we gonna meet at tonight? So you got to say that, and people will give you something. I'm just playing, but y'all give to the show.
I help my basketball team with that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Coach Lewis, coach at Long Beach City College, his team is ranked number 9 in the state of California. That's over 200 junior colleges in California. That's like national. Well, basically, if you ranked in California top 10, you're nationally ranked. That's a major thing. Frosty, how's your team doing at Crenshaw?
Oh, we got a strong 7, and we got some youngsters coming up that's need to be developed. But we got a strong 7, all city point guard coming back, and the league we're in, the Coliseum League, going to be one of the strongest leagues in the city with Washington High School, King Drew. Yeah, it's going to be very entertaining this year.
Frosty's at the world-renowned Crenshaw High School. It's the mecca of basketball in this city. He was a great player himself, as well as Mr. Lewis. And the head coach is my homeboy, Ed Waters. And that's Maxine Waters, Miss Waters' son. So that's my boy. What's up, Ed? So, guys, this has been a very powerful discussion. People, please look up Bill AB 3121. You can go on the California State website, hit it, it pops right up, tells you everything you need to know. Read that 545-page study. It's fascinating, and it covers everything. Okay, so LaRon, let's put the Cash App up there one more time. Y'all get to AirCal. That was my basketball name back in the day. Everybody knew I used to be out there dunking on people. I can't dunk a donut right now, but I used to be back in the day. Okay, let's put Frosty's back up there. My man Frosty MAc. And Hosea, you got it up there.
Yes.
Man, send me the right money app next time, man. They trying to get paid. Okay, fellas, so let's get some shots out. I'm going to go first. I'd like to give a shout out to my sister, my big sister, in Aurora, Illinois, Sonia Padgett, Washington. Love you, Sonya. What's up, baby? Talk to you right before the show. I call my sister baby because she is my baby. I'd like to give a shout out to my niece, Tip. We call her Tip. Her name is Tiffany Holster. She lives in Romeoville, Illinois. I'd like to give a shout out to one of my players, Lawrence Wallace. He lives in Vegas. What's up, L-Dub? My homeboy, Mike Boatwright, my other brother. I'd like to give a shout out to Bev. Bev's supposed to be on the show, but, Bev, you don't be calling nobody back, so I had to get the homies in here. Beautiful Miss Tasha Bailey from Washington, D.C. I want to give a shout out to Miss Latrina Holden, Columbus, Ohio. What's up, Latrina? My homeboy, Terrence Bolden in Inglewood. And last but not least, Tanya Christian from Long Beach, California. Also, shout out to my man, Gerald Bennett. He has a show on Morris Media Studios called Huddle Up. I've appeared on this show many times. What's up, G? Stop flaking, man, and come on down to the show. Frosty, give a shout out to somebody.
I want to give a shout out to Black America, to all the Black Americans that are quick to build another black person up.
Yep.
Rather than tear them down.
Lord have
That's
mercy.
why I want to get a shout out. Those who are doing that, that's where my shout goes.
Man, Frosty always come up with a killer, boy. Zay, give a shout out to some people, my brother. And thank you for coming to the show.
I want to give a shout out to all the single moms out there.
Hey, man, don't be trying to get no phone numbers, man. What's up? Man, he trying to soften up y'all up. No, I'm just playing, Zay. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, because, they raising these young black men the best they know how, and they doing a good job. This is why us here sitting behind this podium here do what we do to help assist in that journey.
Yep. That's a beautiful thing. I want to give a shout out to our engineer, young brother LaRon, doing this great thing.
LaRon.
Young, positive black man. He soaks in all the information. Boy, LaRon, I wish you was my son. You want me to adopt you? I'll adopt you. You want to be adopted?
Yeah, he did good.
I can be your stepfather or whatever, big brother, whatever. I got you. I want to give a shout out to Poetess for letting us have this platform. Morris Media Studios have done an excellent job, you guys. You guys check this show out. Not the show, but if you guys got a podcast you want to do, Morris Media Studios, come down, check them out. Professional, newsroom worthy type stuff. So, guys, I guess that's it for Black Solutions. I just want to thank you, Frosty, brother. Powerful stuff. My man, like I said, he's my co-host. He's been with me. Frosty, I think we've done 10 shows together.
Yeah, pretty much.
When I did, I do the audio version. Zay, this is your second time around. First time we've done it live. Mr. Jose Lewis, outstanding coach, great person. 30 years working with kids? Something like that?
Yes.
And counting?
And counting.
Shout out to both of you guys. Shout out to your parents that's raised you because you guys are the people that we speak of when we talk about character and what a black man or American or a man in general is supposed to be. So that's why I'm so blessed to have you guys here. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to say? We've said a lot. Y'all check out California Bill 3121. Find out who your descendant is. Talk to your mama, your grandmama, your cousin you ain't talked to, your sister, your brother. Get this paper. I got to get mine. I got to get it. Y'all got to get it. I got to get it.
Can I say one thing about that paper, too?
Yeah.
This came on my mind right now. If they do give us this reparation money, it's going to create the have and the have-nots. Because it's going to be just as many that ain't going to get it as that's going to get it. So, you know what I'm saying? Be aware of fake love out there,
right,
because fake love is worse than real hate.
Yep. And I'm glad Frosty brought that up before we go, because here's the thing, you guys. It's only in California. So you guys know, as Zay and Frosty know, what goes in California goes to the nation. If it happens in New York, it goes to the nation. If this thing pans out, the rest of the state's going to have tremendous pressure to do it. They probably ain't going to, I doubt the southern state's going to give out this kind of money. I just don't think it's in them. But This will be a microcosm, I believe, for the rest of the country. That's why it's so important. I want to make sure I take a lot of time. And this is the only podcast in the United States that's talking about stuff like this. Okay, guys, that's it. I want to thank you for joining us for Black Solutions. Check us out next time in a couple of weeks. We're going to come back with more guests, more stimulating conversations. I'm your host, Calvin Padgett, for Dwayne Frosty MAc Franklin and my man, Hosea Lewis. Both basketball coaches. Y'all need to get with them. Get with them. Learn something. This is for Black Solutions, you guys. Listen to Al Green on the way out. We love you guys. Stay positive. Stay strong. And we'll see you next time.